My relationship with Selena growing up was her music just being in the house. You know, she felt like a member of the family. I always dreamed about if I was going to get the opportunity to play her. So getting the chance to do it now is really a dream come true. I don't know that I had an aha moment that I was playing Selena. I was just so focused on the work and so focused on doing a good job that I think if I had allowed myself to have that moment, I would have been too nervous or too excited to really focus on what needed to be done. I think I had a moment of it at the Astrodome. I think it might come now that both parts of the show are out. Hey, it's Christian Serratos, and these are the top 5 things I've learned about Selena by playing her in Selena the series. The first thing I learned about Selena was her business savvy. I feel like working on this show, she somehow gave me a lot of pointers on how to be a businesswoman. Something else I learned about Selena and really think is beautiful is her ability to make people feel very confident in who they are. You know, she really empowered people to be themselves, and I just think it's a really great message. Something I did learn about Selena was confidence does go a long way. You know, in terms of dancing, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. As long as you're really confident in what you're doing and having a great time, the audience really, feeds off of that. And I think it makes for a very good show. Another thing I learned from Selena and really admired is how self-assured she is in what she's doing. You know, she knew since she was a child that she wanted to do music and she wanted to be in fashion, and she never wavered, and she really, set a goal and worked very hard to get there. And the last thing I learned from Selena is how fearless she was when it came to fashion. I think she was really, ahead of her time when it came to many things, but especially fashion, she was really taking a lot of risks. And I think we see a lot of people kind of having some Selena-inspired looks even now, which I think is great. The times I felt like I was the most hers when I would come back home and, somebody would tell me, you're talking like Selena. Selena had a very mild twang, and it kind of changed as she, grew up. And I think every time the dialogue allowed me to find those little tiny moments where I had a little bit of that Selena twang or maybe the Selena giggle, I felt like, okay, maybe I'm on the right track, and maybe I'm doing this right. Getting to film in Mexico and Baja with, a local crew and a Mexican crew was just so wonderful. And I didn't realize how much I needed it. Being Mexican American and my grandparents immigrating from Mexico, it was so nice to live there and be surrounded by people like me who joked the same way, who loved the same foods, who made the same, I don't know, it was just very comforting. It was not just a household of people like that. It was an entire community and crew and, a lot of friends that were the same as me, and I loved that.